Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to WhatsApp, reminding nothing, something, and or remain nothing. Today morning from 10 p.m. a.m. From IIUM Radio Campus. I am DJ Ahmed.
And DJ Marwan. So for today, we have a very special guest. But before that, our topic for today is about travel, and we are inviting an expert to this particular topic. So without further more, I would like to introduce to you, all of you, our special guest for today is Brother Ammar Shahrin. So, Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum wabarakatuh.
So generally, he is from AIFAA Travel, and he is the chief operative officer of AIFAA Travel, and the AIFAA Travel also have a good achievement, which is have been awarded with the Forbes 30 under 30 Asia, which is in retail and e-commerce. So
yeah, today we will ask you some question. How you come out the idea to travel?
To the travel industry for the business?
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Ammar. My background is electrical and electronics engineering. So I used to study in Seoul, South Korea, in Songgyeong University. So what happened is, during our study days, actually in Korea, people like Malaysians, in 2008, 2009, people don't usually travel to Korea. But what happened is when AirAsia opened the route to Korea, so at that time the flight price used to be 2,000 ringgit and suddenly came down to 700 ringgit. So everyone can fly. So what happened is, at that time, we as students, we need to make more pocket money. So what we did is, we have a few friends in Malaysia who planned to come to Korea, so we started to be a tour guide. So tour guiding can get a lot of money at that time. So as a student, you get like a lot. So at that time, that's the idea where I started from there. So we started as a freelancer and then came out to be AIFAA Travel after that.
alright. So before that, we will have a short break. And stay tuned to IMFM, your campus radio.
So welcome back to IMFM, your campus radio. So before we go to the next question, we want to request for Ammar to introduce himself in Korean first.
Okay.
And later on, we will translate it.
Okay, who's the translator? Oh, me.
Oh.
안녕하세요. 저는 아마라가입니다. 저는 한국에서 6년 살았어요. 네, 반갑습니다. 네.
Translate.
Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum pula. Hello, my name is Ammar. So I used to study and live in Korea for 6 years. Nice to meet you all. Yeah, something like that.
Wow.
So let's continue with the next question to discover about our topic for today. So first of all, for Brother Ammar, what is your plan before going to travel? Is it do you have any plan, or you will go immediately?
So like for me, my plans are usually when we plan early, then the plan won't work because me and my family, we are quite busy. Like me, I have a really tight schedule, and also my wife, she's a doctor, so it's really hard for her to find like suitable time for a holiday. So usually the most is 2 weeks. We also traveled, like we also planned 2 days before travel. So we have that like from 2 weeks to 2 days. So that's how we plan, because somehow I got used to planning because my work is planning other people's holiday. So to plan for myself is actually much easier, and also because of the time restriction. So that's how we plan to travel. But for others, I recommend to plan earlier, because the latest that you you plan, it will be much more expensive, because the flight tickets will be much more expensive. If the nearer the time, it will be much more expensive.
You need to plan it earlier. How many months earlier?
For air tickets, I think the best is one year before.
1 year before.
For accommodation, 1 month before will be sufficient, something like that. And also for the plans, actually it depends. Maybe two weeks before will be okay, because it really depends on the weather. So 1 week before, 2 weeks before, you can know the weather, so you can plan from that particular time.
So what type of season that you prefer to go travel?
Like customers, they like to go during winter, but it's not my preference because it's quite cold, and actually it's good to see, but it's not good to feel, because it's really cold. So my preference is actually autumn, because you can also feel the chilliness, but also I like autumn because of the leaves and the colors and all. So my preference is autumn, but like for women, I think they prefer spring because of the like the flowers and all. That's my preference.
Okay. And okay. And why did you choose the location?
So before you travel, you actually need to know two things. One is what's your budget, because people, they started to plan where to go first and then think about the budget. So that's not good, because you have to know the budget first so that we can plan. Okay, so know your budget first, and then find the reason why you travel, because based on our research, people actually travel because of they want to experience 4 things. One is they want to see nature. So if you are people who likes to experience nature, so there are places like New Zealand, Jeju Island. These are the places where you can cover nature and scenic experience. Some people, they like to experience leisure. So like they like to go to theme parks and all. So maybe you can plan to go to Disneyland and in Korea Everland. Or there's one place in Japan, we call it Fuji-Q. So it's a theme park for extreme roller coasters. So it's really extreme, and if you experience that, it's there's also, you know, when you go up, and if you don't want to ride the rides, there's one route they call chicken route. So that if you get scared, then you can go back through the chicken route. They call it chicken route. So if you're a chicken, then you have to go back and follow the...
I have been there before.
Oh, you've been there. Okay, that's cool. The third one is shopping. So like a lot of people, when they travel, they like to shop. So these are makcik-makcik, they like to shop.
I think especially women.
So actually, when I used to be a tour guide, so when I bring makcik-makcik to like shopping stops, they actually have like, they were tired when they travel, but when they come to shopping, they arrive at the mall and the market, it's like they have a new battery. Something like that. So that's the third reason. And what's the next?
Culture, maybe?
Culture, yes. Culture and history. So when I travel, I like to get to know the culture and history. So every time I travel, I will go to the museum to actually read about the culture now. So that's the 4 reasons. So based on these reasons, maybe you can plan which places that you want to travel. So first the budget, and second one is what are you
the
looking for?
reason.
Yeah.
So for Brother Ammar, can you share some experience from your traveling to certain countries, or you can state what are the countries that you have been?
Yeah.
I do travel, but like travel for holiday, I don't do that much. But travel for work, I do it quite a lot. So for this year, I traveled to Japan with my family. We planned 2 days before, because at that time, there were tickets from Arwa Travel where one of our customers, they cancelled the trip last minute. So they already paid everything, but we have like extra tickets, so we actually took the tickets and travel. So that's why it's 2 days before, because it's quite ad hoc. And we also traveled to, the latest one was Sempurna, Mabul Island. That was with family. But for work, I traveled to Hong Kong and also Seoul for this year. The best and the most experience I have traveled is China. So we traveled in China for one month actually. Me and two of my friends, we backpacked all around China. So if you want to know about the experience, there's one story that I would like to share, where we took a train from Xi'an to Inner Mongolia. So the train took us around 15 to 17 hours. So at that time, the premium seats are not available. So the premium seats actually, if it's a long journey train, they will provide beds. But at that time it was sold out, so we had to take the economic train. So the seats were like hard rock and rock hard, and also it was like straight up.
Is it like our KTM?
Oh no, the KTM was like 10 times better. So this one is like really old school economic train. So what happened is you can actually buy tickets for the seats and also buy tickets to stand. So we actually got the tickets for the seats, but there was this one really old guy who couldn't buy the seats because it was sold out. So he had to stand throughout the journey. So at that time I was struggling with myself. Do I give the seats to him or not? Because it's a 17 hours journey, and if I give him the seat, then I have to stand for 17 hours. So I was struggling within myself, but suddenly there was this one lady who just gave us the seats. So I was like, what? So that's one story that I think we all can benefit with, where we know that in KTM and MRTs, like us, really young, we don't actually have this empathy to give seats to others. So at that time, this young lady gave the seats, and she actually stand up throughout the journey. So because of guilt, we actually take turns with her. So somehow that teaches us a lot. Yeah.
So we'll have another short break. So stay tuned with AIFAA, your campus radio.
So welcome back to AMFM, Get Something or Remain Epic. So we'll continue our discussions with next question. So Ammar, you prefer to travel alone, or you prefer to with friends or family?
Yeah, I prefer to travel with family. Traveling alone makes you really lonely. So, and during my like work, traveling because of work, I had to travel alone. So it's not that good. So I prefer to travel with my family, especially. But traveling with families, there's a lot of things to prepare. So maybe after this, I'll talk to the audience regarding that.
So the next question is about what is your preparation before traveling? Which means if you travel with family, what is your preparation? And if you travel for business purposes, what is your planning?
Like traveling, there's three main things that you have to prepare in terms of the basic things. One is transport. So whether it's an airline or it's a like van or train tickets, so you have to plan for the transports first, especially air tickets. The second one is accommodation. So you need to have a place to sleep. That's why it's really important. And the third one is the itinerary. So you have to know the itinerary first.
Which location first?
Which location first? And actually, to plan it's really easy right now because you have like Google Maps. So you have all the tips from the internet, from the blogs. So you can actually search for it. And to book air tickets and accommodation is also easy because we have all these online travel agencies. And if you don't want to plan, you can just come to AIFAA Travel and travel with us.
Maybe
it's much easier. We will do all the plannings for you.
Okay. It's hard to you to find halal food when you travel to Western country.
Yeah, of course. Like halal foods. Actually, right now, the halal tourism industry it's increasing. The demand is increasing. The market is much more bigger, and maybe another 2 years will be like $1 trillion market. So it's easier right now rather than before. So during my time in places that we travel, there's not much halal restaurants available, especially in Japan and in Korea and in China. These are the countries where it's really hard to find halal foods. If it's in Europe, it's much easier. Like Australia, Europe, it's easier because like Muslims have been living there for quite a while. But in places like Japan and all, it's because of the tourism industry makes them get to know about halal foods and all. So in Japan, like, there are quite a good number of halal restaurants in Japan and also in Korea. In European countries, it's quite easy because you can always eat fish and chips and all. But during my days traveling before, it's quite hard. So we had to actually bring foods like breads and all to travel.
Packaging food. Maybe in Korea or Japan, it's hard to find halal food in convenience store. So how we can
encounter that problem actually.
The problem.
Okay.
Maybe there are some tips.
Halal food is as long as the ingredients is halal, then we can call it halal food. So that is what we know about halal. So it's actually need to have the logo. So as long as the ingredients is halal, then it's halal. So like during my time traveling in Japan, my brother used to study in Japan. So every time he want to buy foods in the convenience store, so I had to take the picture and send it to my brother and ask, is this halal and all?
Oh, he will translate it.
So he will say that, oh, this is halal, the ingredients is all good. But if you don't have a relative or friends who study there, so I think the best way is to take a picture and Google Translate it. So there's an app, there's a feature, you can just capture the ingredients and it will translate all the ingredients on the food. And you can actually know whether it's halal or not. So the main ingredients that you have to search is whether the gelatin is halal or not, whether there's gelatin in it, whether there's meat ingredients in it, or whether the emulsifier is meat based or vegetable based. And if there's no like shubha ingredients, then it's good to eat.
Okay, one more question about the language.
Okay.
If you travel to the country he didn't speak English,
Okay.
how to communicate with him?
Actually, we in Google they have this Google Translate. So you can actually type the things on Google Translate and just show at the people that you want to communicate, and it's much easier like that. Type and then show it to them, or you can actually play the sound. That's one way. Another way is prepare basic communication words so that you can communicate. So this is important also because you cannot every time use Google Translate to show other people.
I think sometimes Google Translate it wrongly.
Yeah. So that's why there's a way to use Google Translate. Don't use full words. Only use like
Keywords.
simple words.
Yeah, keyword.
The important word.
So that if you direct translate it, it will be understandable. So for communication, I think the best way is to be connected to the internet every time. So whether you roam your phone, or you can actually buy internet or buy SIM cards, or you can buy a portable Wi-Fi. So this is trending right now, portable Wi-Fi. You can travel with portable. As long as you are connected to the internet, then you won't be lost in translation. You can just use the internet to translate all the things that you want.
Yeah.
So before this, maybe the use of Google Translate is not that wide like nowadays. So how do you communicate with the citizen or the public?
There's one case in China where we wanted to know the meat is what kind of animal is it? So we actually translated, is this bear or is this chicken or all? So we tried all our best to do like sign languages and trying to imitate the sound of the meat. So actually we call it a common language where we know that the animals in all languages has the same sound. So, and in all languages you have, if you show sign languages and
They will understand.
they will understand. So try your best. You know this game called charades?
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
So apply that. Then you'll be okay.
So as a tour guide, maybe you have an experience to deal your customer with the citizen or the public at certain country. Maybe you can share some of your experience to handle your customer if you are going to certain countries as a tour guide.
Customers, the first thing that we have to take care of is their safety. So before travel, we will make sure that they are in good condition. And the worst thing that they will do is because sometimes when they too focus on shopping, then they will get lost. So we actually prepare them. If you get lost, then what the contingency plan? What are the things that you have to do in places like the public transport is good? Then as long as you can, usually we will give them the card for hotel. So every time they are lost, they can just take a taxi and go back. And every time they are lost, they can just find any train station and then go back. So we have to actually make sure that they are in good safety, and also if anything happens, they know the way back. So as a tour guide, of course, you have to make sure all that happen and they can travel in happily.
So we're gonna have another short break. Stay tuned to AIFM, your campus radio. So welcome back to AIFM, your campus radio. So we will continue more about travel.
Yeah, for the travel. Mr. Ammar, if you get that chance to travel to war country, would you go or no? Like such as Syria and Yemen.
or would really like to have the experience to travel in and helping people in war countries, but I'm not sure whether I'm ready or not. But yeah, I think I will have to. Yeah.
Do you have any experience of your friends or your family members?
Actually, in our travel, we have our sales manager who used to work in my care.
Oh, my God.
So he traveled a lot, especially to Palestine, Gaza, and other war countries. So knowing the experience, I really wanted to have that experience, because regarding ARBA travel, so ARBA is actually started as a philanthropy body. We did not start as a business entity, so we started from philanthropy. But right now, after we did a few philanthropy, we know that we need money to actually accelerate philanthropy. So that's why we started ARBA Travel and other business under ARBA, so that we can actually have the money to fund this philanthropy. So so we started ARBA, and then after a few years we opened our own foundation. We call it ARBA Foundation. So under ARBA Foundation, we actually, our main is to help people. So I have no experience in war countries, but I do have experience in natural disasters countries. So we go there and we help people in natural disasters countries.
For example?
So, for example, in Yogyakarta, there were the earthquake during 2007. It was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So we went there and we helped people building their houses back. So and meeting the orphans, because their families got killed under the natural disasters. So I have that experience, but I never experienced any war countries. If I have the experience, maybe I should go. Yeah. We need to go to have the experience.
So are you willing to have are you willing to do charity work or volunteerism?
Yeah, of course.
Maybe you can
in ARBA, we have this one thing called Wakaf 1%. So it's a culture within ARBA where we are not like Sayyidina Abu Bakar and Sayyidina Umar, where Sayyidina Abu Bakar radiallahu anhu, he gave 100% of all he have to the ummah. But like us, we are not them. So but at least we can give 1%. So we have this culture we call Wakaf 1%. So for a year, we have 1% of 1 year. It's actually around 4 days. So in ARBA, we have 4 days where we go out and help people. So we started helping the Rohingyans, and then from there, right now, we help people under Yayasan ARBA. We have we are partners with One Woman for Them. So One Woman for Them is focusing on two things. One is to help mental health patients, mental health people, and also we also help stateless people in Sabah. So those are the volunteerism, and we wanted to put this one idea, we call it volunteerism. So it's a volunteer and plus tourism, where people take packages to do charity work, at the same time they travel. So it's a concept where we can mix these two, and tourism is our expertise, and we have our partners One Woman for Them to help us for the charity work, and Yayasan Alba also to help with the charity work. So we want to mix it together to help people.
Yeah.
So maybe before we have another short break, can you briefly tell us the history of ARBA Travel? Maybe generally, or you can specifically.
So ARBA Travel is actually, do you know what ARBA means?
No.
It's the short term for Abdurrahman bin Auf. So as we know that the Sahaba, Abdurrahman bin Auf, He's a really good businessman, and with all his wealth, he will help people, help the ummah, give everything he has. So it's the spirit that we want. So because of that, we get the name, and we actually started to do philanthropy work to help to help people. But at that time, doesn't work. So we need to have a proper business. We need to know how to build something from scratch first. So we started with ARBA Travel. We have four shareholders. So most of us are from university graduates from overseas. So actually in ARBA, 70% of our team are overseas graduates, and 30% of them are like postgraduates. They have masters and PhD. So the culture and the mission that we want to bring is to have a really good business entity, and also at the same time help people. So that's why we have these two entities. One is ARBA Travel, and one is Yayasan ARBA Foundation, we call it. Yeah.
Wow, very impressive. So we have a short break after this. Stay tuned to MFM, gain something or remain nothing. So welcome back to MFM, your campus radio. So we want to ask Brother Ammar. So based on your experience in traveling, what the benefit that you get?
I think travel, it's a must in like for right now, because it's a stress buster. You know, even though people always say that the economic is going down, there's going to be a recession, but actually the number of people go travel, it's increasing, because they work hard, and like traveling, it's a must for them, so that they can release stress. So there are people which they plan to travel every year, maybe twice a year. So it's good to release your stress. So that's how one of the things to travel you get when you travel is you can release your stress. But I think the most important thing is it can shift your perspectives. It will change the way you look. It will open your eyes. It will open the way you think. This is very important, especially for Malaysians, because even though we are like a multicultural, multiracial country, but sadly we are not that open-minded. So with our neighbors, like other races, so we don't actually mingle with them, we don't actually communicate with them. So I think one of the things that if you go travel, it will really open the way you think, the way you see things. And for Muslims, we know that we have a lot of madhab. So if you travel, you can see all this, and it will actually make you not judgmental. So right now, sadly, in Malaysia, we are judgmental. We say that this is sesat and all. So it's not good for the culture. It's not good for Malaysia. So to go travel, be open-minded and learn new things. So that's the benefit that I think we can get for traveling. And also we can also increases connection, because if you go travel with friends, I think we can get to know them better. As we know, there's two things that I think you can deeply know a person. One is when you travel and sleep with them. The next one is when you share secrets with them. So sharing secrets, we have a lot of time traveling together, so there will be a few secrets that we tell to our friends or our families, and that really makes you know them better. So I think that's those are the three things that I think it's good for people to travel, because Also, in the Quran, they say that in Malay, what do you call it? Go and the main thing is go and travel, go and see the world. So I couldn't remember the verse, but the point is go and travel.
So this is maybe the last talking point. Can you share the tips for traveling, especially for students?
For students, the first tips is kumpul duit. So you have to actually save money to travel. So this really requires a really good discipline and commitment. So like during my times, every time, because right now students, they have like long breaks, like 2 months,
3 months,
3 months of summer break. So it's the same like us as a student in overseas. We have like 2 or 3 months of holiday. So at that time we save money, we work to get the money. I used to be an English teacher in Korea, so teaching like ajumas, what do you call it, machi of Korean. And I did a few things. I did tour guiding and all to save money to travel. So save money because you have that break, and also I think you need to travel with friends, so that I think during the university time it's the best time to get your lifetime friends, because when you were in like primary school, secondary school, it's dia banyak main-main. It's not the friendship is not based on like trust, and also based on like the journey that you've been through. Mostly it will happen during your university days, because the hardship you will go through together. If you need to eat Maggie, you eat Maggie together. So that's why you need to travel with your friends, so that you can get your lifetime friends, and maybe lifetime partner, I don't know. So that's for students, I think. And I think because of students, you are still single. Most students are single. So this is a time you can go wherever you want. During my student days, we traveled. We gone through a few hardship, like you booked a hotel, but suddenly they cancel the booking, so you have to sleep under the bridge and all. So go through the experience. It's really good, and really makes you independent and all. So I think for students, I think you have to travel.
Yeah.
Whether you go by yourself or you go with travel agencies, you go with your family, doesn't matter, as long as you travel. And make sure the reasons is good. Not to show off and not to update your Instagram, no, but to really open your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's the tips for students.
So maybe you have the last word before we end our session today. Maybe you want to promote your AHMED travel agency.
You can follow us at Facebook and also Instagram. And for those who are hearing this, maybe you can add me on Facebook and let's get to know each other. Yeah.
Actually, thank you so much for your coming, and really appreciate that. And terima kasih sudi datang.
Sama-sama.
So we will continue our session next Monday on 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. only at IUM FM,
Your campus
your
radio.
campus radio.